located in northwest Washington, D.C., and is Marjorie Merriweather Post's grand estate that offers 13 acres of beautiful gardens as well as a decorative art museum. This estate was her former residence. She was the heiress and daughter of C.W. Post, who owned General Foods Corporation. In her own right, she was a businesswoman, a socialite, a philanthropist, and a collector. Her mansion is a museum filled with art that she has collected over the years. There are several excellent videos available on YouTube highlighting the museum's large and decorative art collection. This video is about the 25 acres of beautiful gardens on the estate grounds. These gardens capture the vision of Marjorie Post conceived when building the estate in the 1950s. She designed the gardens to flower in the spring and the fall when she was a resident at Hillwood. I visited in the spring with the azalea and the wisteria in full bloom. To achieve her vision, she hired prominent landscape architects Umberto Innocente and Richard Wiebel to expand the existing gardens. The formal gardens extend from the house's terrace and porches in a progression of outdoor rooms. Each of these rooms is meant to complement the mansion's interior spaces. These outdoor rooms lie south of the mansion in roughly a semicircular pattern. As you make your way up from the parking lot towards the mansion, the motif of the gardens begin to show itself with azaleas, wisteria, tulips, abundant greenery, and decorative light fixtures. Our first stop on the tour is the motor court, which is the entrance to the back of the mansion. In the center of the motor court sits a 19th century stone sculpture of the Greek goddess Eros. Immediately to the left of the mansion is a set of greenhouses. Marjorie Merriweather Post invested significant resources to grow her favorite flower, the orchid. During her time at the mansion, the greenhouse provided cut orchids for nearly every room in the house. Today, Hillwood maintains an orchid and tropical plant collection to Post's exacting standards, with a collection of over 2,000 species and hundreds of different varieties of flowers and plants, which provide cut flowers to carry on the tradition of filling the mansion with these exotic flowers. Following the clockwise path through Hillwood's spectacular gardens bring us to the cutting garden. The type of flowers grown and used to decorate the mansion were a carryover from the formal traditions from the 1950s and 60s. Marjorie Post stipulated that upon her death, Hillwood would be open as a museum to the public and that the tradition of fresh cut flowers would continue. Following the wooded path, you discover the surprise of a Russian cottage house called a dacha. Marjorie Merriweather Post was charmed by the Russian country house she saw and visited during her time in Moscow in the 1930s when she was married to the U.S. ambassador to Russia, Joseph Davies. The cottage was built in 1969 and represented a nostalgic view of the Russian culture. A little further along the wooden path is the dog cemetery. Marjorie Post created this special space in the garden as a tranquil memorial to the pet dog she loved throughout her life. Marjorie Post's last dog, Scampy, was laid to rest in the pet cemetery in 1972. The family carried on the tradition, and many of Post's family members continued to memorialize their beloved four-legged friends in the dog cemetery through the 1980s. The Lunar Lawn is an expanse of over 13,000 square feet of turf on the south side of the mansion. Leo, the regal 18th century stone lion, presides over the emerald expanse. The lawn is surrounded by trees and colorful seasonal plantings. The space creates an outdoor room for entertaining on a grand scale. Vintage blue and white lawn chairs from the 1960s are arranged near the mansion to provide a sense how Post tastefully combined the historic space with modern trends. Marjorie Post hosted receptions on this space for the political and social elite of Washington, D.C. The Vista Terrace is next to the Lunar Lawn. It is a small terrace decorated with Merriweather Post's signature lawn furniture and surrounded by cherubs. It overlooks an extended plot of lawn, trees, and flowering plants. The flagpole on the Lunar Lawn near the Vista Terrace was added in 1962 as a gift to Post by the staff for her 75th birthday. The Japanese-style garden at Hillwood Estate is perhaps the most delightful of the room gardens. It is a non-traditional Japanese garden, was designed by Shogun Maeda especially to integrate Ms. Post's personality with the grounds of Hillwood. Well-placed stone lanterns, pagodas, symbolic animals, and statues populate the various niches of the garden, and plants provide interesting contrasts of color and texture. The putting green is a lush space that once provided entertaining diversion for Marjorie Merriweather Post's guests. This space invites activities and is an integral design component of the landscape. The creeping bent-grass turf surface contains 9 holes, complete with cups and numbered pins. The Rose Garden is a special place within the Hillwood Gardens. It contains Marjorie Post's ashes at the base of the granite monument in the center of the garden. At the top of the pillar is an antique urn carved from a rare deep purple porphyry. The Friendship Walk begins at the Rose Garden and ends in a circular space called the Four Season Overlook. It is a secluded path flanked by boxwood, rhododendrons, and azaleas. The path was created secretly by her friends as a way to celebrate Marjorie Post's 70th birthday and honor her remarkable philanthropic contribution. Our final stop on the tour is the French Parterre. It is a secluded garden room adjacent to the mansion. You enter through one of the petite arched doorways in a European-style garden with low, intricate planting divided by footpaths and surrounded by walls of English ivy. The parterre is divided into 4 sections using gravel footpaths, channels of moving water, and a central pool lined with Italian glass tile. At one end is a statue of Diana, the goddess of the hunt, and at the other end is a pair of marble sphinxes with winged cherubs on their back, which adorns the terrace to the mansion. Water flows from each end along hand-carved limestone rills, joining in the center pool as it arches from the mouths of a playful seahorse and a dolphin. The Hillwood Estate Museum and Gardens are open 6 days a week from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. There is a modest admission fee, and tickets can be purchased online. It is well worth a visit.